People. I'm Robert Beatty. This is a broadcast of the Portland Insight Meditation Community. If you would like to join us on Zoom, go to robertbeatty.com or portlandinsight.org, and you can find the link there. To be part of the real deal. So, what to do with this? Leave it alone, I think. Okay. Good morning, dear Dharma friends. How lovely to see you this morning. I went to bed pretty early last night. I got more than 8 hours of sleep, which is very unusual for me. But I was quite tired. I spent much of the weekend, it seems like all the weekend, in front of this screen. I was the host for a fundraising weekend for Brighton Bush Hot Springs in their process of rebuilding. And we raised almost $45,000, which was a nice achievement for the weekend. It's a good beginning. Their plan is to build, I think it was 20 guest cabins, and each one costs about $80,000. So it's a long road back. So I was thinking of what poem I could share with you this morning, because I like to start with a poem. And I had an earworm poem that has been part of me since high school. When I graduated from college, I stuck around in Montreal for a few months, and then I signed on to a ship and I went to Australia. And the journey outside the country began. And I then traveled for 5 years. It was quite a scene, quite a feeling for me. There I was on the top deck of the ship. I wasn't needed for leaving. And the tugs came, and the ship, the Baltic Sea, was nudged away from the dock by a tug and out into the St. Lawrence River, and it was pointed upriver. And the St. Lawrence is a huge river. It probably carries 5-10 times the water that Columbia does. The whole center of the continent through the Great Lakes. Anyway, this ship pulls away, and there's my mother and my sister and my dog. My dad didn't come because he couldn't tolerate the fact that he would cry, I think. I understand that. Anyway, they pushed us out into the middle of the river, and then one of the tugs gave us a nudge, and we're going sideways down this giant river. It moves fast, this giant river, and they turned us around, and then we were off. And I had my backpack and a lot of fear and a lot of excitement and some compulsion. Anyway, I took with me one book, which I still have, the little paperback. It was a book of poems by Robert Frost. And this morning, I thought this was an Ogden Nash poem, but it is Robert Frost. I looked it up just a few moments ago. So it goes like this. Imagine there are synapses that have been devoted to this for 50 years. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think that for destruction, ice is great and would suffice. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is great and would suffice. Had you're not, you need to mute. The Dharma offers us tools of awakening, so we can become conscious of the roots of suffering, greed, hatred, and delusion. If we don't learn how to observe them as they arise in their many forms, we wind up acting out of them. And we are conduits into the world for unbridled greed. I don't have enough. I have to get more. And you're in my way. You're between me and what I want, so therefore I have to hate you. Not new. It's part of human existence. The Buddha came along 2,600 years ago, offered some powerful tools for setting ourselves free. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya. In case you missed the very beginning, I will be shooting out of here at 7:45. My dentist is about 15 minutes away, and she managed to fit me in with a filling that fell out. Anicca. Suffering comes in many forms. Sickness, old age, decay, death, birth, sickness, old age. Jim will take over when I go. Hmm. This mind is producing the story of the king who was on his way to war, had business to attend to. He heard, as he was marching along with his men, he heard that the Buddha was in a small grove of trees, and he'd heard of this guy. So he parked his army and said, "Rest, but don't get too comfortable. The battle is tomorrow." He went and found the Buddha and sat at his feet. And he said, "Lord Buddha, I've heard that your teachings are powerful, and I need them, for I'm on my way to war. I may die." The Buddha looked at him with the eyes of great kindness and said, "Dear King, I'm happy to tell you what I can." And the king said, "One proviso, though, that needs to be very brief because I don't have much time. So what's the shortest teaching you can offer me?" And the Buddha replied, "Try to live in the present moment." The king woke up. The king got it. He thanked the Buddha, went back to his men, poised for the march and the battle, and said to them, "My friends, go home. Go home to your families, to your shops, to your farms. There will be no war. And try to live in the present moment." And so it is for us. Try to live in the present moment. The breath exists only now. So every time, every moment, awareness is present with the sensations of breathing. Is a moment of living now, here. The miracle and mystery. The miracle and mystery of consciousness is happening right now. There are objects of consciousness and there is the consciousness that knows them. Coming home to the in-breathing and out-breathing. And noticing also any thoughts that arise. Any memories. Any planning, any emotions. Each breath has its beginning, as is true with each thought. Come home to now. It's very normal to find ourselves lost in thought. The very nature of the self, of the experience of self, is rooted in stories. I like this, I don't like that. I want this, I don't want that. I have to be careful about this. This person is this way, that person is that way. This is the great momentum of the world, created in the human mind. And then somehow there is awakening. And thoughts are seen as thoughts. It happens in less time than a heartbeat. It happens now. And nothing changes except everything. And there's knowing. This is the dream, this is the thoughts. And they are as they are. And there's no need to feed them or fight them. They are the dream. We might expand our home base or primary object, our anchor. Beyond simply the breathing in and breathing out, and include the entirety of the human body, the life that sits here. The hands and arms, and thighs and calves and feet and toes. The face, the eyes. In fact, the aliveness, which is the signal from the body of its existence. as we awaken in the present moment. The fire and ice of lust and hate, desire and aversion reveal themselves. It can be very subtle. I want something different. What's happening now is not adequate. I want to be more concentrated. Wanting. Or, I don't like what's happening. I want it to be different. I hate this. Or I dislike this. I'm going to try to concentrate to stop that. In any moment, the lust and hate, the wanting and not wanting, can be known for what they are. The roots of suffering. And what remains? This moment. there is something growing within us. We plant the seeds of awakening, of mindfulness, of concentration, of equanimity and tranquility. And it's a lot like planting seeds in the garden. Those tiny little seeds are such miracles. They carry the secret of germination and somehow knowing which way is up. They get warmed by the sun and enough water. They have the entire genetic code of all the future generations. And so it is that something is stirring in each of us. If we provide it with attention, with sun, with care, with time, space, something happens. Something inexorable occurs. It occurs in this moment. It occurs with the arising of a moment of awakeness. And the capacity to remain alive in the body, aware of the body. To recognize thinking as thinking. Planning is planning. Anxiety as anxiety. Mindfulness as mindfulness. And we bring love. Love manifesting as room for everything. We could put words on it. I aspire to love and accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. And when I'm hurting, when I discover myself suffering, even the minor suffering of wanting something or disliking something, I aspire to hold myself in sweet compassion. And to continue to nurture that which is awakening from within, we can form the intention. I intend to live in the present moment. Whether that's sitting meditation or walking meditation or driving the car, changing the diapers. And please now, bringing awareness into the contact of the body with the chair, the aliveness of the hands, the aliveness of the cheeks and the jaw and the eyes, and now making the intention to allow the eyes to open. They don't open without the intention. And then noticing the effort that's required and the mystery of seeing. Seeing. Well, dear friends, I am grateful to have had these moments with you this morning. If I leave in the next minute or two, I don't have to rush. So I think I should do that. That's a good choice to make. Oops. So I leave you in Jim's beautiful big heart, and see you tomorrow. And I'm thinking not to do the dancing. It's a little much some mornings, tomorrow morning. So see you soon.
Thank you, Robert.
And wish me luck at the dentist. I don't want another crown. I kind of walk in and I protect my wallet. It's like, these teeth. Having teeth is good, though. I approve of them. All right, here I go. Is this? No, okay, leaving. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, good morning, Sangha. We began with that little story about the king on his way to war, needing a brief teaching. The stating of the brief teaching is in fact brief, but the realization of it is a whole other thing. I spent most of the meditation time in memory and not very much in the present moment, but actually that's not true. I was partly in the memory and then partly in the feeling of the memory. Robert, do you have something else?
No, I'm trying to get out of here.
Oh. So the memory